Sometimes people want to stay in their comfortable lies rather than face the hard truth, said Nietzsche. Today, many stories about love and relationships are not what they seem. The ideas we hold close may be hiding something uncomfortable. What if the romantic stories we believe are mostly illusions? What if they keep us trapped in disappointment and pain? This video will question everything you thought you knew about love. Prepare yourself for a truth that might change how you see your relationships forever. The reality behind love is not always what it appears to be. For a long time, many people have been taught that love is the answer to all problems. We hear that love can save us, fix us, or make us whole. This idea is part of a culture that tells us love is a kind of magic. It promises healing and happiness without conditions. But this promise is not always true. The idea of unconditional love, where someone loves us no matter what, sounds beautiful. Yet it can also create false hopes and confusion. Sometimes this idea can make people stay in unhealthy relationships, waiting for a love that may never come. At the same time, there is a strong message about how men should behave in love. From a young age, many boys learn that their value depends on what others think about them. They are taught to look outside themselves for proof they are worthy. Often, this proof comes through relationships. Men may feel pressure to win love or approval from others to feel important or strong. This is not really love, but a search for validation, a way to feel accepted and seen. This need can make relationships feel like a test or a game, where winning means being loved. Love and the need for validation are very different things, but they often get mixed up. True love is about caring for someone without needing something back. It does not depend on praise or approval. It comes from a place of respect and kindness, not from fear or insecurity. Validation, on the other hand, is about feeling good because others recognize us. It can be very tempting to confuse the two because both involve attention and connection. But relying only on validation can lead to disappointment. When love feels like a prize to win, it loses its true meaning. Many men carry the weight of this cultural programming without realizing it. They may try hard to please others, hoping this will earn them love. When this does not happen, they can feel lost or rejected. The idea that love will fix everything can also stop people from facing their own struggles. Instead of learning to feel whole on their own, they wait for someone else to complete them. This expectation can create a cycle of dependence where love becomes a need instead of a gift. This promise of love as a cure is not new. It has been passed down through stories, songs, and movies for generations. It is part of how many people understand relationships. But it is important to question these ideas. What if love is not meant to be a fix? What if real love asks for more honesty and less pretending? The story that love will heal all wounds can keep people from looking inside themselves for true growth. It can also make people ignore signs of pain and struggle in their relationships. Understanding the difference between love and validation can help break these old patterns. It allows people to build connections based on truth and respect, not fear or need. When men stop looking for love as proof of their worth, they can find freedom. They can start to appreciate themselves without needing constant approval. This change can create healthier, more honest relationships for everyone involved. In the end, the promise of love as a perfect solution is a story that may need to change. By seeing love clearly, without the myths, people can find better ways to connect and grow. Love is powerful, but it is not a simple answer to all problems. It asks for patience, understanding, and honesty. Only then can it become something real, not just a promise that was never meant to be kept. For many years, women have lived in a world where their power was limited. In history, women often did not have the same rights or opportunities as men. They could not easily own land, make decisions, or speak freely in many places. Because of this, women learned to use different ways to influence others and protect themselves. This was not about control in a bad way. Instead, it was about finding smart ways to survive and get what they needed in a world that did not always treat them fairly. Women developed what some call relational intelligence. This means they became very good at understanding people, reading feelings, and knowing how to respond in ways that helped them. This skill helped women to manage situations, solve problems, and build connections with others. Over time, this ability became a powerful tool. It allowed women to influence others without needing direct power. This kind of influence often worked quietly but effectively. Some people might see this as manipulation, but there is a difference. Manipulation usually means tricking or harming others for personal gain. Strategic adaptation, on the other hand, is about using knowledge and skill to navigate difficult situations. Women's strategies were often about protecting themselves and their families, or making sure they had a voice when others might ignore them. It was a way to survive, and sometimes to thrive within limits they did not choose. Men sometimes misunderstand this strategy. Because women often use indirect methods, men might think women are innocent or unaware of their influence. This misunderstanding can cause confusion. Men may not see the careful thinking and effort behind women's actions. They might believe everything is simple or natural when it is actually a smart way to handle complex situations. This can lead to mistakes in how men respond or trust women. This difference in understanding can affect relationships. When men think women are innocent or only acting naturally, they may miss the true reasons behind women's choices. Women, on the other hand, may feel their skills are not recognized or respected. This can cause frustration on both sides. Knowing that women have developed these strategies helps explain why things happen the way they do. It shows that women's actions often have a purpose rooted in history and survival. Women's strategies are not about playing games or hiding truths. They are about using what is available to create safety and strength. Over time, these skills have grown into a kind of wisdom that helps women deal with the challenges they face. This wisdom is not always visible, but it is powerful. It has helped women manage family life, work, and social situations in ways that are often unseen. Understanding the reality of female strategy means seeing the world through a clearer lens. It means recognizing the hard work and smart choices women make every day. It also means accepting that power can come in many forms. Direct power is not the only way to influence people or change situations. Sometimes the quiet and careful ways can be just as strong. This view also helps explain why some relationships between men and women can be complicated. When people don't understand these strategies, they might feel confused or hurt. But knowing that women's actions often come from careful thought and survival can change how people see each other. It can lead to more respect and better communication. Women's strategies grew from their need to find power where they had little. These strategies helped shape history and continue to influence how women live today. Recognizing this helps everyone understand the complex ways people interact and build relationships. It shows that what might seem simple on the surface often has a deeper meaning behind it. Many men have a way of seeing women that is not always true. They put women on a pedestal, making them seem perfect and without faults. This is called pedestalization. When a person idealizes someone, they only see the good parts and ignore everything else. This creates a picture that is not real. It is easier to believe in this perfect image than to face the real person with flaws and struggles. Men often prefer these comfortable illusions because reality can be messy and difficult to accept. This idea creates the role of the muse. A muse is someone who inspires and seems almost like a dream. Men may think of women as muses, beautiful, inspiring, and beyond reach. This idea is nice, but it hides the fact that women are real people with feelings, needs, and problems. When men only see the muse, they miss the true complexity of women. They do not see their challenges or their full humanity. This can create misunderstandings and distance in relationships. Romantic devotion can hide deeper feelings, such as fear and dependency. When a man is deeply devoted, it can seem like love. But sometimes, this devotion covers up fear. Fear of being alone, fear of failure, or fear of not being good enough. Dependency means needing someone else to feel safe or worthy. Instead of standing strong alone, some men lean too much on their romantic partner. This can create a relationship that is not equal, but based on need and fear. When men hold women on a pedestal, they may avoid facing problems in the relationship. They do not want to see disagreements, struggles, or the less perfect sides. This keeps the illusion alive, but can cause pain later. When the real person shows their true self, the man may feel shocked or hurt. This is because the image he believed was not true. The difference between illusion and reality can create disappointment. This way of seeing women also limits how men grow in their relationships. Instead of learning to accept and love the whole person, men may only love the idea of a person. This can stop real connection and understanding. True love means accepting both the good and the bad. It means being with someone fully, not just the part that seems easy or nice. Sometimes, this illusion is a way to avoid dealing with hard emotions. It feels safer to hold on to a perfect idea than to face pain or conflict. But this safety is only temporary. Over time, the truth comes out, and the illusion breaks down. The challenge is to face reality with courage and honesty. This means seeing a partner as a full human being, not just a symbol or a dream. When romantic devotion is built on fear or dependency, it can feel heavy and limiting. It may keep a man from feeling free or confident in himself. Instead of growing together, the relationship may become a place of control or need. Both people can lose their true selves when this happens. Understanding these patterns is important for building better relationships. It helps men see where their feelings come from and what they really want. It also helps women understand why men sometimes act in ways that seem confusing. When both sides can see clearly, they can build connections that are real and strong. Men breaking free from these illusions can learn to love more honestly. They can stop chasing perfect images and start accepting real people. This creates space for growth, respect, and true partnership. It allows love to be about two whole people, not just ideas or fears. In modern love, feelings and emotions often become a kind of power. People treat love as if it is a space they can control or use to get what they want. This space, filled with emotions, becomes a kind of real estate, something to gain or lose. Instead of just sharing feelings, love sometimes turns into a game of giving and taking, where each person tries to hold more power than the other. This changes how people connect with each other and what they expect from relationships. Many relationships follow a pattern or a dance where people act in certain ways to keep control or balance. This is the choreography of connection. People may say or do things not because they feel them fully, but because they want to keep the other person interested or to avoid losing control. The result is often a surface-level connection that looks close, but is not deeply real. Genuine intimacy, the kind where people truly understand and accept each other, can be hard to find in this dance. Instead of openness, there is caution and calculation. Vulnerability, or showing one's true feelings and weaknesses, becomes a kind of currency. Sharing feelings can feel risky, so people use vulnerability carefully. When someone shows their real self, they give away power because they expose their fears and needs. This makes vulnerability valuable, but also dangerous. People may use or protect this currency depending on how much power they want to keep. Showing less need or fear often means holding more control in the relationship. There is a common idea that the person who needs less has more power. When one partner acts like they are less dependent or less emotionally attached, they can control the relationship better. This does not mean they care less, but that they show their feelings less openly. This distance can create a kind of strength, making the other person work harder to keep the connection. This struggle for control can make relationships feel like a competition instead of a partnership. In many cases, people protect themselves by hiding their true feelings or by not showing how much they care. This creates walls between partners and stops true closeness from growing. When people are afraid to be vulnerable, they miss chances to build real trust. They stay in roles where power is more important than love. This can lead to frustration and loneliness, even when two people are together. Sometimes, the need to control emotions comes from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of pain, or fear of being hurt can make people hold back. Instead of sharing openly, they protect themselves by keeping their feelings hidden. This may seem smart, but it stops real connection. Love needs risk and honesty to grow. Without these, it becomes a game of power where no one wins. Understanding these patterns helps to see why some relationships feel hard or confusing. It shows how love can be about more than just feelings. It can be about power and control. When people learn to recognize this, they can choose to act differently. They can try to be more open and honest, even if it feels scary. Being willing to show vulnerability without fear changes the rules. It creates space for real connection and balance. When both partners share openly, they stop playing games. They build trust and closeness instead of keeping score. This kind of love is stronger because it is based on truth, not power struggles. The way people handle power in love affects everything. It changes how they feel about themselves and each other. When power controls love, it can make relationships hard to enjoy. But when people choose honesty and openness, love becomes a place for both to grow and feel safe. This is the challenge many face in modern relationships. In many relationships, love can feel like a kind of performance. Women often learn to influence without making it obvious. They use subtle ways to guide situations and people around them. This skill is a quiet kind of power. It allows women to lead without being seen as the one in charge. This way of influence can shape how things happen without loud commands or direct control. It is about suggestion, gentle hints, and creating space for others to act in certain ways. This kind of influence can be very strong because it feels natural and easy, not forced. At the same time, many men take on roles that look like conquest or control. They act as if they are leading or winning, but sometimes this is only on the surface. Inside, they may be following or submitting without showing it. This hidden submission is often part of how men keep the image of strength and power. It looks like they are the ones in control, but they might be responding to the influence around them more than people realize. This is not weakness, but a way of playing their role in the relationship. The difference between suggestion and demand is important in this performance. Suggestion is a soft way to influence, where ideas or feelings are offered without pressure. It lets the other person choose and feel like they are making decisions. Demand, on the other hand, pushes someone to act a certain way, leaving less choice. In many relationships, suggestion works better because it keeps peace and avoids conflict. Women often use suggestion to guide, while men may respond by acting on those suggestions, believing they are making choices on their own. Mystery is another part of how love is performed. Many men see women as mysterious, full of secrets and unknown thoughts. This idea of mystery often comes from men's own thoughts and feelings, not from what women actually are. Men may project their fears, hopes, or confusion onto women and call it mystery. This can make women seem more complicated or hidden than they really are. Sometimes, this idea of mystery keeps men interested but also distant, because they are trying to figure something out that isn't really there. This projection of mystery can affect how men and women relate to each other. When men believe women are full of secrets, they may act with caution or distance. They might try harder to solve the mystery instead of simply accepting the woman as she is. This can make relationships more complicated than they need to be. Women, on the other hand, might notice this and feel misunderstood. They may wonder why they are seen as puzzles instead of real people. The performance of love is built on roles and expectations that many people learn from early life. Women learn to influence softly. Men learn to appear strong and in control. Both sides play parts that keep the balance of power without open fights or clear leadership. This can work well for a time, but it also hides true feelings and needs. When people perform instead of being real, they may feel lonely or disconnected even in close relationships. Understanding this performance helps explain why some relationships feel confusing or tiring. It shows how people can be acting parts instead of showing their true selves. The roles of influence and submission, suggestion and demand, mystery and projection all shape how love is expressed. These patterns can create a dance where each person moves carefully, trying to keep the balance. Breaking free from this performance means being more honest about feelings and actions. It means showing true intentions instead of playing roles. When people stop performing and start being real, relationships can become clearer and deeper. This honesty takes courage, but opens the door to real connection, where both people can be seen and accepted as they truly are. At some point, the performance of love comes to an end. The careful roles, the suggestions, the mystery, all start to fade. When this happens, the mirror that reflected the image we wanted to see breaks. Suddenly, people face the real person, not the perfect idea they held before. This moment can be painful because it forces us to see what was hidden behind the show. Loving someone is very different from loving how they make us feel. Often, people confuse the two. They think they love a person, but really, they love the way that person makes them feel. Happy, safe, or important. This is a fragile kind of love because it depends on emotions that can change quickly. When the feelings change or fade, the love built only on them may fall apart. When the mirror breaks, we see the difference between fantasy and reality. The fantasy is the perfect image or story we created in our minds. It shows only what we want to see. Reality, however, is the whole person with flaws, fears, and mistakes. Facing reality can be hard because it does not always match the dream. The moment we realize this is often full of disappointment and confusion. The real betrayal in love is expecting someone to live inside our projection. A projection means putting our own hopes, fears, and desires onto another person. We want them to be what we need or expect, not who they truly are. When the person cannot live up to this image, we feel hurt and betrayed. The pain is not just from their actions, but from the loss of the fantasy we held onto. This betrayal can cause people to blame their partner for not being the perfect idea. They may feel anger or sadness and think the other person has failed them. But the real issue is the expectation itself, which was never fair. Expecting someone to be exactly what we imagine is asking them to lose their true self. It is like trying to hold water in your hands. It slips away no matter how hard you try. When the mirror breaks, it also offers a chance to see things clearly. It can be a moment to stop chasing illusions and start accepting people as they are. This does not mean giving up on love or connection. Instead, it means loving with eyes open, knowing both the good and the bad. It is a harder kind of love, but a truer one. Many relationships struggle because people hold onto their projections for too long. They keep the fantasy alive even when reality shows a different picture. This can create tension and pain over time. Both partners may feel trapped, unable to show their real selves without fear of losing the other. The longer this goes on, the more fragile the relationship becomes. Breaking the mirror means facing the truth about ourselves and others. It means letting go of the need to control how someone appears in our minds. It means accepting their complexity and imperfection. This can be scary because it opens us up to vulnerability, but it also opens the door to deeper connection. When we stop loving a fantasy and start loving a real person, relationships change. They become places of honesty and respect, not just comfort and dreams. This shift can be painful at first, but also freeing. It teaches us to be present with others, even when things are not perfect. The end of the performance is not the end of love. It can be the start of something more real. When the mirror breaks, we have a chance to see and be seen without illusions. This is the true challenge and gift of love. Nietzsche once said that we have a choice, to grow up or to repeat the same patterns over and over. This is a hard truth in love and relationships. Many people get stuck in emotional dependency, holding on to old ways of needing others to fix or save them. This keeps them trapped in cycles that cause pain and confusion. To move forward, people must learn to see others clearly, not through the lens of their needs or fears. Moving from emotional dependency to genuine seeing means looking at someone as a full human being. It means accepting their strengths and weaknesses without trying to change them or make them fit into a perfect idea. When we see a person fully, we stop expecting them to be a savior. Instead, we meet them as they are, with all their flaws and beauty. This shift changes how love works. Seeking a savior is a common mistake. People often want someone to rescue them from their problems or make their life better. This hope puts too much pressure on the other person. It creates an unequal relationship where one person carries the weight and the other depends on it. But love is not about saving or fixing. It is about being with someone as equals, supporting each other without trying to change who they are. Love should be seen as a kind of revolution, not just a story we tell ourselves. Many stories about love are full of dreams, perfect endings, and easy happiness. These stories can keep us stuck in repeating patterns because they do not match real life. A revolution is a big change, a break from the old ways. In love, this means changing how we relate to others and how we understand ourselves. It means choosing honesty, courage, and respect over comfort and illusion. To live this new kind of love, people must be willing to face hard truths about themselves. They need to recognize their own fears, needs, and patterns. This is not easy, but it is necessary for growth. When people stop blaming others or expecting to be saved, they take responsibility for their own feelings and choices. This freedom allows for deeper connection and trust. Transformation happens when people stop reacting to old wounds and start acting from awareness. It means choosing to be present with others without judgment or control. It means accepting that love is not always easy or perfect. Sometimes, love requires patience, forgiveness, and effort. But these challenges also bring real closeness and understanding. Repetition, on the other hand, keeps people stuck in the same stories and pain. It keeps them searching for the perfect person or waiting for someone to fix them. This cycle can feel safe because it is familiar, but it also causes suffering. Breaking free from repetition means facing the discomfort of change and growth. The path forward in love is not simple or smooth. It asks people to be brave and honest. It asks them to give up illusions and meet reality with open hearts. This is the real work of love. It is not about finding the perfect partner, but about becoming the person who can love fully and freely. When people choose transformation, they open the door to new possibilities. They can build relationships based on truth and respect, not fear and need. They can create connections that help both people grow. This is the challenge and the promise of love when we decide to grow up. It is time to see beyond the illusions we have held onto about love. These stories and ideas may feel safe, but they often keep us stuck in patterns that hurt us. Facing reality is not easy, and it can bring pain, but it also brings freedom. There is no need for blame or shame when the truth comes out. Instead, there is a chance to understand ourselves and others more clearly. Love built on truth and clarity is possible. It asks us to be honest about who we are and what we need. It means accepting others as they are, not as we wish them to be. This kind of love is not perfect or simple, but it is real and strong. It can help us grow and feel connected in ways we have not known before. For those who are ready to let go of the comfortable myths and face love with open eyes, there is a new way forward. It may feel uncertain and scary at first. Change often does. But it also offers a path to deeper happiness and peace. Real love comes from truth, not from fantasy or fear. The choice is ours. We can stay inside the old stories that no longer serve us, or we can step into the light of honesty and clear seeing. When we do, we open the door to relationships that are based on respect, trust, and true connection. This is not just an idea, it is something we can live and feel every day. If you are ready to challenge what you thought you knew about love, to face the hard truths without fear, and to build something real, this is your moment. It will take courage, patience, and kindness toward yourself and others. But the reward is worth it. A love that is alive, free, and honest. This is a call to move beyond illusions and to choose clarity, to stop blaming or hiding, and to start seeing and loving with an open heart. The future of love depends on the choices we make today. The path is open for those who want to walk it with honesty and courage.